Hey everybody, my name is Dan Clark, and I just want to welcome you to my YouTube channel, Life After Religion. And if you haven't subscribed, I just want to ask you to subscribe because it allows YouTube to send the video out to more people. And the more people we get to listen to these videos, all of our videos, anybody who has a page, the more we can help these people watch what it is that they're getting into when it comes with regard to Jehovah's Witnesses. And anyway, today I wanted to talk a little bit about the new bait, yes, bait, that the Witnesses is using to reel people in. And it's pretty amazing. When I was reeled in, you might say, the bait was paradise tomorrow. That's what caught your father and my father and our grandfathers, was that it was going to be paradise tomorrow. And, we all waited for 75, and then right after they snuck in the generation prophecy, and then right in after that, the overlapping generation prophecy, anything to, string us along to keep us hooked because, we wanted that paradise. So they had to keep setting up these hooks. Well, most of us, my father's dead, my mother's dead, they died waiting for that paradise. My grandfather died. And a lot of people that I know that have died were very upset because the end didn't come in their time. I know several people on their deathbed that said, I feel like, Jehovah let me down. Really, it was the governing body who let you down. And they're continuing on. These guys are not repenting, for their wrong dates. They have given so many wrong dates. It goes back to the early 1900s. These guys have been false prophesying the end. And the people continue to follow. The people continue to follow these guys. And anyway, what bothers me is, is that I didn't realize that this was a corporation. Let me get this off here. I didn't realize that this was a corporation. I really thought this was Jehovah's true organization. I really thought they heard Jehovah's voice, and of course the prophecies went by, and the disillusionment went by, and so on and so forth. But what I realized is that these guys don't care. The governing body does not care. Yeah, I know I've talked about the people's lives who have gotten ruined in 75, and people put their lives on hold, and after that, the generation prophecy. But people have had their lives on hold for a long time. And what tells me and what shows me that these guys are unconscious at the highest degree, totally unconscious. Now, what they are conscious of is making money. What they are conscious of is bringing in more people to build their buildings, to do their work, to pass out their watchtowers and awakes. And what bothers me is that they won't repent. They won't stop. I thought at one point they were going to stop and say, hey, we're so sorry. We made a mistake. We shouldn't have prophesied like this. We shouldn't have false prophesied and used these dates. And we're sorry that you put your life on hold. But they haven't done this. And now they have new bait. They have new bait to capture people. And I'm going to tell you what it is. I went on jw.org today, and I was seeing what it is they're doing. What are they up to? What are the new things they got going? So I went into some area called new and exciting things they got going on, and I pulled up a video. And the first thing I noticed was they were using Jesus' name a lot. And I thought, why would they use Jesus' name? When we were in there, everything was about Jehovah, Jehovah, Jehovah. All we ever heard about Jesus is that he did his job for Jehovah. He sacrificed himself for Jehovah. We didn't hear really nothing else about Jesus. I mean, we heard that he turned water to wine, but it was all Jehovah, Jehovah. Well, man, when I heard these guys today, they sounded like TV evangelists. Jesus is power. Jesus is miracles. Jesus is this. Jesus is that. I was like, what the hell? This ain't the organization I grew up in. And then, so I thought about it, and I thought, well, that's the new bait. That's the new bait. See, if you go to the door and you talk about Jehovah, they're like, oh, you're Jehovah's Witnesses. Get the hell out of here. We don't want nothing to do with you. But now they're throwing the name around Jesus. They're using Jesus in all of their sentences. I couldn't believe it. One governing body member to another. Jesus. Oh, our great Jesus. And it was handed over to Jesus. And it went on. And I thought, this is Christianity. This is this is the world empire of false religion they talked about. Those who worship Jesus instead of Jehovah. And I mean, they still use Jehovah, but it was alarming to me that they were using the name Jesus so much. And I thought, oh my God, that's the carrot. We believe in Jesus. We worship Jesus. Yeah, we're all about Jesus. Come check out our organization. Oh yeah, Jesus was powerful. Jesus was amazing. Jesus was loving. Jesus was this. Is this what you heard when you were in? Not when my father was in. My father would roll over in his grave right now if he heard what was going on. If he heard that they don't go to the Kingdom Hall anymore, he would die. He would fall over right then. He'd say, what? Yeah, they don't go to the Kingdom Hall anymore. They don't read the Watchtower. They read it off a tablet. They have a tablet that they read off of. He'd say, what? I'd say, yeah, the Watchtower now, they read off a tablet, but forget about that because they don't even go to the meetings anymore. Actually, they're selling them all off, and they're starting a televangelist group. Man, what would your uncle do? What would your grandfather do? What would your people do that have followed these creeps for all these years with the end in sight and now find out that they're building a multi-million-dollar media center? Multi-million-dollar. With all the TV, theatrics, studios. I mean, they're going full out. They're not planning for the world to end. They never cared about the world ending. They didn't care. Like I said, your grandfather and my father would roll over in their grave. Just a turning off of meetings like a switch using COVID to turn off the meeting. What a joke. What a joke. You got all these churches going back to church. They're all sitting sporadic in there. And the Kingdom Halls aren't that full. You can spread people out. But they're selling off the Kingdom Halls. And they're begging for money. But what's interesting is they're building this multi-million-dollar, it's years out. It's years out. They're clearing the land. They're not planning for Jehovah to genocide anybody any day. That whole message is changing now. It's all about Jesus now and how wonderful he is. And when it comes on, I swear to God, when I was watching it, when this thing came on, it looked like I was watching one of the, I don't know, just one of those televangelists. I don't even know who they are. But, Joel Osteen or something. They had the world spinning and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-womp, and then they came into the jw.org, place where they're at up there. And it looked like, this first class, big conference tables and everything. It looked just like TV evangelism. It sounds just like TV evangelism. So they're trying to relate to the masses, the unsuspecting masses out there, using the name Jesus now. Now, that's stage one. We always know stage one is get you in the door. Well, now here's what they're doing to the kids. They're doing this to the children. I couldn't believe it. You know what they said? They goes, guess what Jehovah needs now? Actors and actresses. And we need all they can get. I was watching Anthony Morris saying, boy, we need them all. We need all we can get. We need all the actors. He goes, did you ever think you'd be acting for Jehovah? Did you ever think you'd be acting for Jehovah? Now, here's the thing. These kids are going to go up to their parents and say, what? I want to act. I want to be an actor. What kid didn't want to be an actor when they're young? Let me get rid of this. What kid didn't want to be an actor when they're young and do some of that stuff and be in Hollywood? Well, they're setting up a massive, massive studio. And like this guy said, it's going to be the most theatrical, powerful. He said, we want full immersion. That's what he says, full immersion. We want to bring people right into the moodness. And so Anthony Moore is like, we're going to need actors. We're going to need a lot of them. So I thought, oh my God, they were never thinking about shutting this organization down. They were never thinking about the end in sight. These are marketers. This is a business. This is a business. And guess what? They got a pretty good hook. Now they've got a hook. Let's get the children. Let's tell them we want them to act for Jehovah. The highest and greatest honor that you could do is act for Almighty God and bring people into Jehovah's organization. And then on the outside, when they're coming on the studio, see right now, Right now, what they're doing is they're throwing this name out there, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. So when people hear them, they're like, oh, well, this is Christian. Well, they're Christian just like we are. Yeah, you know what I mean? And then they're getting people used to the name Jesus. Their own followers. They're using Jehovah and Jesus, Jehovah and Jesus. And I'm seeing what they're doing. They're moving out of that old paradigm of Jesus, and now they're of Jehovah, and incorporating the name Jesus into it. And so they're indoctrinating. They're moving the indoctrination now. These screens keep popping down. They keep moving this thing around. So now what they're doing is they're taking the ones they're having, and they're using the Jesus a whole lot more. Jesus this, Jesus that, Jesus this, and these people are unsuspecting. They don't even know what's going on, and then you're telling the kids, we need actors, we need people to work at Bethel, and serve Jehovah in this capacity. So I just wanted to let you know, my God. They have got 2 more hooks out there, 2 more major hooks. It's not Paradise Tomorrow anymore. It's Disneyland Studio. It's Hollywood. It's JW Broadcasting Network, and they're proud of this. They're not talking about the end like they told my dad and my mother and me. 40 years of my life, they could give a damn about you and me. 40, 50, 60. I'm 60 now. I'm 62. My dad's gone, my mother's gone, and they also died with that fear of Jehovah. But here's what I want to tell people. Stage 1, Jesus, Jesus. Stage 1, don't you kids want to act? Don't you kids want to act? Well, what's going to happen when this theatrical spectacle comes through on your TV? And it's just like a televangelist, right? It's all about Jesus and giving your life to Jesus and all this stuff. Well, what's going to happen after that? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen after that. The same thing that happened to everybody else. They're going to tickle your ears with Jesus, and then they're going to bring you in, and they're going to tell you about Jehovah. So step one is these pop-ups keep popping down on my deal. But step 1 is all about Jesus. Then when you get inside, what are you going to hear about Jehovah? You're going to hear a full immersion assembly. Jehovah's angry. Jehovah's jealous. Jehovah's a jealous God. Jehovah's going to vindicate his name. Think about that. Jehovah's going to vindicate his name. And then, when the Israelites were rescued and the sea swallowed up Pharaoh, there was singing. He has become highly exalted. Jehovah's name is heard all over the land. So they're using some different hooks. I'm sure they'll still use paradise because that works for a lot of people. Nobody really wants to grow old here and think about old age, and unless you're doing pretty good and you've escaped some of the snares of Watchtower. But they've got the paradise now. Now they got the Jesus language. And now they got, don't your kids want to act and serve Jehovah? So, man, they've got the hooks in the water, baby. They've got the hooks out there and the lures. Don't it remind you of fishing where they throw it in over here, the fly fisher, and then he throws it in over here, and he teases with it, and the fly hits the water, and they tease the fish until finally they bite? Well, they've got 2 more hooks out now, and they're trying to hook your kid with the acting and all that sort of thing, the promise that you might go to Bethel and act. And then they're using the Jesus language that resonates with most Christians out there, so, to where that Christians would say, wow, that sounds just like us. It sounds pretty cool. And they're building this massive facility. Well, guys, this is a hell of a plan. But you know what? It's totally of the devil. And I'll tell you why. Because Watchtower and governing body are responsible for destroying people's lives and not giving a damn, not apologizing, not caring in the least. They're full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. This is what Watchtower is. Full speed ahead, never looking back. They don't care about 75. They don't care about all the prophecies before that. I wasn't so involved in it then. But 75 generation prophecy, overlapping generation. They've got another one now, and I forget how far out it is, another 10 years or something. They said it's all going to be over. Who cares? Who cares? But what bothers me now is those hooks. They're using those hooks, trying to sound like regular Christians, throwing around Jesus' name, and now they got the acting things going. Please, people, tell people, don't get involved. These are ticklers. These lures are just lures. They're just flies with big ass hooks on them to grab you by the mouth and yank you in. That's what these people are doing. And once they get you in, you ain't never leaving, because they're going to tell you how pissed off Jehovah's going to be if you leave. Think about it. What did we spend more time on when we were Jehovah's Witness? Did we spend more time in the Jehovah's Witness thinking about the paradise? Or did they spend more time telling you how Jehovah was going to kill you if you tried to leave? If you left, you were going to suffer the second death, which there was no resurrection. You were going to be thrown in the fire, Gehenna. You know, you were told never drift away. You may never get back. Well, we know that's true, because a lot of times it takes between 2 and 10 years to get back after you've made a couple mistakes and you went outside, which is totally out of harmony with the Bible. So these guys are snakes. These guys are big snakes, unconscientious marketers, snakes that are trying to entrap a whole bunch more people. They're going after the Christian community. They're going after your children and anybody they can get. But I just wanted to say they got 2 more lures in the water, and they're going to be throwing them out. They're going to be coming out on your television, and it's going to look just like I don't know, the TV evangelists that I mentioned, you know, and they're going to be putting a spin on it. They're going to have these big dramas and all these things. If the thing ever gets off the ground, I'm praying that it doesn't get off the ground. You know why? Because enough people have suffered. We don't need to worry about the end when the end's going to come. The end will take care of itself. If you believe anything, even what Jesus said, he's come so we could have this life and have it more fully. And we were supposed to see good for our hard work and work hard that we might have something to give. We were supposed to participate with life, not participate with Watchtower and pass out outdated Watchtower magazines and books. This is sick. We can't let them trap anybody. We got to tell people about this. We got to tell them about the new hooks, the new lures in the water, to capture you, to capture your family. And God help. I had a guy write me the other day. He said the worst thing he ever did was not knock that sister off his porch that was studying with his wife. He was so broken. He said that was the day. He said the sister talked. My wife started a study. We came, and all hell after that. All hell. He says, I remember that day like it was yesterday. And he said he was entrapped. And he said he's been wounded by it. And he's trying to recover from it. Recover from what? Recover from fear, shame, doubt, and worry. Worry that you never did enough. When you get inside there, could you imagine if they had a microphone outside? Now, say you were just studying and you actually heard one of the meetings going on that you were going to get rid of all your worldly friends, you weren't going to celebrate this, if they told you everything that was going to happen when you come in there, that you were going to get rid of your books, that you were going to dress different, that you were going to get rid of your friends, that you were going to work like this, that you weren't going to do this in the bedroom and you weren't going to do that, your kids were going to have to break up with all his friends, they weren't going to have anything to do with extracurricular activity, they weren't going to have any part of the world anymore. In fact, Jehovah's already executed judgment on Babylon the Great, the world empire of false religion. Well, you'd say, what does that mean? Well, Jehovah's already executed judgment. Well, would that mean like my grandmother who's going to the Catholic Church? Yes. Yeah, she's going to die any day. Oh, what's this dying thing? Well, actually, anybody who don't know God's name, Jehovah, is going to die any day. Anybody who don't know Jehovah is going to die. Jehovah's going to genocide him because he doesn't know his name. Wouldn't you run the other way? If you had a microphone listening to the hall and what they were saying out there, you would never have went in. But see, they don't do that. They do a slow indoctrination. Tell you about Jesus. Tell you about acting. Tell you about the paradise. And then once you get in, it's fear, 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 and you're a workhorse for these guys. You're a slave. You're a good-for-nothing slave. That's why they call you a good-for-nothing slave. They have no respect for you. They have zero respect for you. The governing body has zero respect for its followers. The reason they do is because they're of the class. They're of the anointed class, the anointed up here. They're the heavenly class, and you're the earthly class, the slave class on earth. The slave class that are good-for-nothing slaves that are doing what you ought to be doing. And as we know, I actually had somebody the other day said, that's not in any of the literature. I'm like, either you're a witness or you're lying for these guys. It's in every Watchtower. We went over that article twice a year in the Watchtower. In fact, my wife went to the Kingdom Hall one day, and we were in the Watchtower, and she said, did they just say what I thought they said? Did they just call themselves good-for-nothing slaves? And I said, yeah, but then the next person commented and said the same thing, and the third person commented, and she goes, that's sick. See, she wasn't indoctrinated. So that was like something totally crazy. And I just wonder if enough of us will get out there and talk about the insanity of what happens behind closed doors. Behind closed doors when the cameras are off. What kind of shit are they telling you? Yeah, what kind of stuff are they telling you? They're telling you God's angry. Don't ever leave. Don't ever go outside. Stay away from everybody. I remember when I came out, I didn't know anybody. I didn't know myself. I was just a JW program. You know, what does governing body say? What does the Watchtower say? What does the elders say? I had no idea who I was. I was a little bit cuckoo. You know, a lady told me one time, she says, oh, you're a Jehovah's Witness. And I said, my God, how did you know that? She goes, you're all a little goofy. Y'all are the same. She knew we didn't have a brain. She knew we were like shallow. We were empty. And we were fake. You know, we had this message that we were plugged into, governing body, and that's all we did was tell that message over and over, associated only with our people. I thought at first it was ridiculous that she said that, but then I said, she's absolutely right. We stand out like a sore thumb. We've got a thing written on ourselves, jw.org, you know, Jehovah's Witness. I mean, it's as clear as a bell. So anyway, guys, let's let people know what's going on. Let's let people know that these guys are going to try to come into your home through television. They're already pretty much full-blown internet. They've got people on the iPhones. Even some of the dumbest people I know have got their iPhones, and they're giving talks on their iPhone on a Zoom meeting. And I'm like, you got to be joking me. And so anyway, just wanted to let you know, let's let some people know what's going on there. I'm really surprised that anybody that's been in there a long time and that has seen and that have heard these prophecies, that heard the 75 prophecy, the generation prophecy, the overlapping generation, that they would still follow these guys. And now they got a massive years out plan to build a massive media center with massive studios like Hollywood. And, you know, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So anyway, people, thank you for listening today. And hey, pass this video around. You know, share with people. I don't care what you do with it. Let's let people know what's going on in there so that they don't get hooked like we were and lose a big chunk of their life through slow brainwashing. And you know, on the other hand, a lot of people never get out of there. We don't want people to get in there and never get out of there. Let people know what's going on before they get in. You see somebody talking to the witnesses, just walk right up there and say, hey, get out of this thing. Do your research. Just encourage them to do that. Do your research. Before you get involved or listen to any one of these guys, look them up online. You know, they're getting rid of all their books now. They're getting rid of all those books that we had, the Revelation book, the Paradise book, all those books with all the dates and, you know, end dates in them and all that wonderful stuff that they said that they heard Jehovah's voice. And that's another thing. I think it's interesting that they say they hear Jehovah's voice, and then when the prophecy fails, they say, "Oh, our dear brothers are doing the best they can listening to Jehovah." No, you told us this was the last book we were going to be studying with people. You told us this was it. We're only going to get to study one book. We're not even going to be able to ask them the questions. It's so close. Well, that was 15 years ago. And you keep coming out with new books and new this and new that. It just amazes me that they continue, that they would be amoral. That like I said, I never realized it wasn't a corporation. I always thought it was the truth, as you thought it was the truth. And so now I see it as a corporation, and it just sickens me that so many people are hooked up with it and going along with it. And really sacrificing their whole life. They're eating crumbs, because I feel what God meant for you is something amazing. He said, he's given us a fingerprint, unlike anybody else's, and we're made in his image and likeness, and we were here to do amazing things. So I think, my God, to go be a Watchtower solicitor, to be a telemarketer for him, calling people, be a magazine rep, taking around magazines, and you are selling yourself short. So anyway, you were to see good for who you are and what you were to do. And you don't need to be told you're no good and you're a good-for-nothing slave. That's not who you are. You and I are made in God's image and likeness, and we're made here to do something amazing. So anyway, I'm going to end it right here, guys. Just want to tell you, please subscribe to my page down below, hit the bell, and you'll get these notifications when you come out. I have a lot more videos and a lot more things I want to talk about. And thank you for listening to me today. I know you could be anywhere else, but thank you for listening. And check out some of my other videos. I have 107 videos, I think, on there now. And they go back 10 years. And lots of good information, lots of things that you could, as you listen, you start getting an understanding, and you start seeing the big picture of what this organization was all about and how we got in and how we can get out. So anyway, that's it. Thank you so much. And you guys have a great rest of the week, okay? Thank you.